You always said to me, Mark, and you said in the last episode that we want to replace trust with truth. And I think that's what you were alluding to. We pay 6 to 8% of global GDP, 7 trillion a year for that trust. And again, we all need it. We all use it. There's great examples where it saves our bacon, but is it worth that much? Probably not. And when you
Probably not. And look, here's the thing. We didn't have an alternative before.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I put my money in the bank and I trust that they will take care of it because now it's their money. This is the weird part, right? When you put your money in a bank, you put your money in a brokerage account, it's now theirs, right? If I look at my ownership of, I have on my wall a certificate of 1 share of Cisco, because back in 2000, I said when it was going crazy, I said, this thing's going to $5. And it almost got there. And so they bought me 1 share. Well, if you look at the DTCC, Depository Trust Company, it doesn't say Mark Yusko, right? It says UBS. UBS owns that share. And I have an IOU from UBS that I could get to that share or I could get to the value of that share, but I don't own the share. Same thing with my money at Bank of America. Well, not Bank of America anymore because I fired them, but Truist Bank. So I put my money in Truist Bank. It's their money. And I have an IOU that's good 99.99% of the time. The problem is if it's at 0.01, like Cyprus or La Jolla National Bank, it's bad. So here's what happens is I have a recurring nightmare. And not all the time, but maybe once a year. I go to the ATM, I punch in my code, and it says 0. How would I prove it's not 0? I'm trusting them that the money I put in, they didn't take. But if they said it was 0, I don't have a statement. I haven't had statements in years. It would be their word against mine. Now I could probably, sue them and get the records and say at some point back in the computer files, it said you had money and then there was an entry. But who knows? But that trust is worth it because I don't want to keep the money at my house because look, I do not want to go back to the days of where you had to sit on your porch with a gun. And as long as your gun was bigger than the bad people's gun that showed up at your house to take your stuff, I don't want that. I like having a central repository for value, and then I can use that capital for other things. I don't want to keep it all. It is my one pet peeve about Bitcoin. As much as I love it, and as much as I love digital assets, bearer assets have a risk.
Yeah.
And that risk is that if I have to put it in cold storage and I lose my seed phrase or I forget my password, it's gone forever. It's like, I use the example of money the way you think about it now. How much money's been stolen from the Federal Reserve? $0. How much money's been stolen from Bank of America's main office in New York? $0. How about Bank of America, El Paso, Texas? Actually, more than $0. That bank has been robbed before. How about people's wall safe? More than $0. How about your purse or wallet? The further you are from the money, the more at risk it is, right? It's a bearer asset. You could lose money from your wallet and you never get it back, right? So, but for a small amount of money that you carry in your purse or wallet, that's no big deal. With all of your wealth, if you put all your wealth in Bitcoin and you forgot your seed phrase, that would be a bad outcome. So that's why these centralized, services. So we have TradFi and you have CeFi, like blockchain, or like Coinbase and others. Who say, "Oh, not your keys, not your coins." I'm like, yeah, and you have all the risk to the centralized organization. They can take your stuff, but is the risk of my dad at 86 forgetting his seed phrase or losing his seed phrase worth it versus him being very comfortable that he owns Bitcoin at Coinbase? I don't know. It's fine with me. And I don't want to hold his keys because if I mess him up, then I'm in trouble. So I do think ultimately we can get to a world where everything is fully decentralized, but we need some better UI UX. We need some better security measures. And look, it's a real operational security risk that if you have all of your wealth on this and someone comes into your home with a gun and they don't point it at you, they point it at your family and say, give up the seed phrase. And I've heard people, I'll go to my grave. I'm like, okay, great. That helps nobody. So I don't want to get back to a world where it's hard to rob a bank, right? It's easier to rob an individual. And I'm not saying you should go out and rob people, but sadly, there have been attacks on, wealthy Bitcoiners and others. And so one of the things I don't really understand is when people flex exactly how much money they have. And are you just inviting trouble? It just seems like a bad idea.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public. And he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.